Hi and welcome to today's session. So today's session is going to consist of core work and our chest. So first of all, if you've got a device, I'd like you to set it to functional core training or core training. We're going to keep that width across that body. We're going to place ourselves on the floor. We're going to need a mat and a set of hand weights. So the first part we're going to focus on is getting that core activated and fired up and working. So we're going to have the feet in a nice neutral position. We want that pubic bone to landmarks nice and level. We're going to have that rib cage sat over the top of the pelvis. We want to keep that width across that body for me. So we're going to take a nice big deep breath in. We're going to breathe out. We're going to float that knee up, and then we're going to bring the second knee up to join it. And then we're going to lower it down, and then lower it down. So you want to keep that movement on the out breath. We're going to keep those abdominals contracting and drawing in and down. So this position is, we're going to call this our tabletop position. We keep that space between the chin and the chest. And within today's workout, you're going to work within the levels that are correct for your body. We're going to make sure that we work through at all times a pain-free range of motion. So if you have any back injuries or anything like so, that you work within that pain-free range of motion at all times. So we want to keep our knees in line with our hips. And again, you want to make sure you have plenty of space around you to make sure that your feet are not going to bash into anything and that you're not going to bash your arms into anything. And at any time, if you've got any discomfort, you just stop, pause, have a rest, or if your backs are playing up, you then just stop your workout and have a rest. It's super important to learn and lead with your body, what your body can and can't do. Now we're going to do that just 2 more times. Keeping those abdominals nice and connected. And 1 more time. So we're going to keep our legs up at 90 degrees now. We're going to take one leg out, lengthen away, pull that leg back in. So again, we want to make sure we're not going to bash bits of furniture or walls or anything like so. Lengthening the leg out. Now I'm just keeping hold, a very light gentle press onto the knee. Again, I'm not putting any downwards pressure onto the knee joint. I'm just keeping everything nice and engaged, nice and in line. So we're focusing on keeping those abdominals nice and connected and drawing down. And again, we're going to work through that pain-free range of motion. So if you want to make it more challenging, you're going to take your leg more horizontal to the floor and pull back up. Again, you can only take it down, so it's just slightly skimming the floor. Again, keeping that width across that body, keeping those abdominals nice and engaged. Trying not to roll to the right or to the left. Again, keeping that pelvis nice and heavy and keeping that length through that body. Keeping that space between the chin and the chest. And we're going to do 1 more repetition on each side. So we always want to make sure that our tummy muscles don't pop up. Lovely. We're going to put these feet back down to the ground. We keep that pubic bone to landmarks nice and level. So we're just going to grab hold of the weights. So 1 weight in each hand. So I'm doing it today's session with a 4 kilogram in each hand. So again, you can work anywhere between 2 kilograms up to 10 kilos in each hand. So first of all, we want to get our body position so the body is nice and straight. We'd like our elbows to be in line with your chest. We're going to keep that head looking up towards the ceiling. We're going to press the weights so they join together at the top. Keeping those abdominals nice and connected, and we're going to draw it back down towards the floor. So we're going to reach up to the ceiling, keeping the abdominals nice and engaged, and keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. So we're going to squeeze it all the way up. So we want to make sure we keep that head and that neck nice and long. Keeping that width across that body. Keeping that rib cage drawing down. And we want to make sure we press into those pectoral muscles, those chest muscles. So that nice natural curve in the neck, the upper back and the lower back. And we're going to do 2 more repetitions. Lovely. Right, we're going to bring bring the weights down, have a little rest. So, second set, we're going to fold that knee up into 90 degrees. So, we're going to challenge the pelvis just a little bit more, keeping that width across that body. So if it gets too much for your back, so you feel like you're arching your lower back, then pop your feet back down to the floor. We want to keep that effort as we press the weights to the ceiling. And last repetition. Brilliant, so pop the feet down, bring the weights down to the side, have them just resting on your thighs for a moment. So the next set we're going to do, you can either do it with your legs at 90 degrees, or we can take it into our single leg stretch position. So if the single leg stretch position is too much pressure on your backs, then obviously go to our legs at 90 degrees, the previous exercise version that we have just done. So let's set our body positions, legs up to 90. So we're going to do alternating legs. So we're going to press one leg away, take the weights up, draw it back in, so nice and under control. Press away, engage, keeping that length through that spine. I'm going to press all the way away, and then all the way back in, and press away, and pull back in, and press away, and pull back in, and away, and in. So keep that width across that body, keeping those toe muscles nice and engaged. I'm going to do 2 more on each side. 2. Brilliant. So feet down, put the weights down. Again, just make sure you're not going to catch them with your hands. So reset that position for me and keep that pelvis nice and level. So we want to keep that rib cage over the pelvis. Knees are in line. Pube bone to lamb, that's nice and level. We're going to start by pressing the heel of the hand onto the breastbone. So heel or thumbs will do. We'll keep the shoulders nice and open. We're going to breathe out. We're going to get a nice flexion through. And then we're going to roll it down. So what we want to focus on is that breastbone peeling down. So we want the breastbone to slide down so we flex. We're going to keep the abdominals nice and tight, and then we're going to roll it back down. So sometimes when your devices, they will pause because they think that you're not actually moving. So sometimes you just need to do a double check, and you may need to dismiss them. So you want that breastbone to flex down, keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. So we want now to focus on our eye gaze. So our eye gaze is going to look in between the middle of your thighs. So that breastbone to flex. So as you flex up, you're going to lose that gap between the floor and the spine. So when you feel comfortable that you're happy with that, you can rest your fingers on the side of your head. So we're not putting on the neck. We're doing all the work through the line of pull of flexion. Remember to breathe out. Again, we want to make sure those abdominals are drawing down. Keeping those knees in line with those hips. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Now we're going to alternate the abdominal crunch, which we've just done, with a chest exercise. So we're going to grab hold of your weights. So a nice firm grip. We're moving the weights up to the ceiling. So we want to keep the elbows in a nice arcing action. So we want to keep the weights over the chest. We're going to open up through the shoulders. We're going to rest those elbows on the floor. We're going to keep the elbows nice and softened, and we're going to draw all the way up to the ceiling. So keep that width across that body, keep that nice connection through the chest, through the shoulders. Draw it all the way up, keep everything nice and engaged. So we're going to keep the head down on this exercise. Opening up that chest, contracting the chest on the way up, opening up on the way down. Keeping that width across that body. And we've got one more repetition. Brilliant. So pop the weights in, pop them down to the side again. Make sure that you're able to grab them nice and easily. Again, reset that spine. So we have nice neutral position. So pubic bone to landmarks nice and level. Knees are in line with hips. Right, you know the movement pattern we're going to do. So we have those fingertips to the outside edge of the temple. We're going to take a nice big deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to flex. We're going to curl up. So we're going to close that gap between the floor and the spine. And then we're going to breathe out and lower it down. So I keep that gap between the chin and the chest. Keeping that space between the rib and the hips. And last repetition. Brilliant. So we're going to grab hold of those weights again. We're doing our second set chest flies. So again, keep that nice good posture. So head and neck nice and long. We keep that width across that body. Open up through those shoulders. Open up that chest. Contract those abdominals, keeping everything nice and connected. So we want to maintain that nice natural curve into that lower back, natural curve into the upper back, and into the neck. Keeping that width across that body. Keeping that space between the rib and the hips. And we've got 2 more repetitions. Brilliant. So we'll put those weights down. Okay, so final set of crunches. So pubic bone to landmarks nice and level. So again, get a nice big flexion from the breastbone. Again, at all times working through a pain-free range of motion. Keeping those tummy muscles in nice and tight. So we want to make sure we've got that whole connection all the way down from the top to the bottom. Making sure we're getting the whole of the abdominals firing out to drawing into the middle, through and down. And last repetition. Brilliant. So we're going to grab hold of those weights. Final set of our chest slides. So again, keeping that weight over the chest, open up through in that nice arcing position. Keeping that width across that body. Again, making sure you haven't migrated down your mat. Really keeping that nice control on the way up and on the way down. Now we've got one more repetition. Brilliant. So we'll pop those weights down. We're going to move straight in now to our reverse curls. So we're going to have both our legs at 90 degrees to start with. So we want to really fire up through those obliques. We want to really work on drawing in from the bottom end of the rectus abdominis, that six pack. So we want to first of all focus on drawing the knees towards the chest, squeezing in, and then rolling back to that nice neutral position. So again, just be mindful if you have any zips on the back of your workout kit, because as you're rolling that pelvis backwards, again, compressing that zip into your lower back is not very comfortable at all. So each time we have a nice big deep connection, drawing in, pulling everything in towards the chest, and slowly rolling back. So again, get that rolling action through, tighten everything in, and rolling it back. So we're going to use those abdominals to do the work. So really contract, pull, 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 in, keep it connected till you return to that start position. And really drawing it in, tighten, and back. So really that space between the rib and the hip, really engaging through those abdominals. And we're going to do that 3 more times, and we've got the 3, keep it nice and strong, 2, really engage, and last repetition. And we'll put these feet down. Right, so we're going to bring one of our weights, and we're going to do our single chest press. So we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. So option 1 is we're going to press the weight up to that midline of the body and draw it down. So that's option 1. So again, we want to make sure we don't roll into the exercise. Option 2 is where we have the leg up at 90 degrees, and we're going to press the leg away. So it's the opposing leg and pull back in. So we're really having to use that core to counterbalance and activate and lengthen away. So I'm going to stick with option 2. So we're going to press away, pull back in, and away, and pull back in. So again, just be mindful not to overpoint those toes and cramp up, or overflex the foot and cramp up as well. one more repetition. Brilliant. So place that foot down, pop that weight down, grab the weight in the other hand, reset that one. So leg is up, we're going to press away. So again, focus on that nice big deep connection. Remember to bring that weight all the way across that midline of the body and draw it back in. So again, nice big deep connection across those abdominals, pressing away, keeping that pelvis nice and level. And one more repetition. Brilliant. So pop that foot down, pop that weight down. We're going to bring our legs back to our nice reverse curl position. So legs at 90 degrees. We're going to really focus on drawing the knees in towards the chest, rolling it back. A nice big roll through the pelvis and draw it back through. So that real pelvis to roll, engage, and keep that gap between the chin and the chest. So that real tightening through and back. Now we've got another 5 repetitions to go. So we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Put those feet down. So we're going to grab the weight. We'll do single chest press with our opposing leg. So again, we're going to keep those abdominals nice and connected. We're going to press away and draw it back through. Keeping that width across that body. And last repetition. Brilliant. Pop that weight down. Pick the weight up on the other side, get that balance. And then we'll press that leg away, coming across the body, and draw it back in. Last repetition. Brilliant. Pop that weight down. Back to our final set of reverse curls. So legs at 90 degrees. So I'm going to draw it in, really tighten through those abdominals and keep that gap between the chin and the chest. Getting that nice big engagement all the way through. Keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. Really keeping that width across that body. And we've got another 4 to go. So you have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Right, so keep that width across that body for me. Now, we're going to get that nice big focus on, with one weight, on firing up again through the chest and through the abs. So, you want to make sure you've got plenty of space above your head, so you're not going to take out any bits of furniture. So, I'm going to keep that width across that body. And then now we're going to contract those abdominals. So, we're going to bring the weight above the shoulders. Then we're going to flex, and we're going to curl it up. We're keeping it nice and connected, and we're going to roll it all the way down. Nice big deep connection. Again, we want to make sure that we've got that movement coming from the abdominals, not from the neck. So we want to get that connection through, so the weight comes above the head first, in line with the chest, then flex through. And again, just working through that pain-free range of motion. Shoulders are drawing down. Contracting those abdominals, keeping that width across that body. Keeping that space between the rib and the hips. Getting a nice deep connection through. And the last repetition. So we'll pop that weight down. Slowly come up. Make sure the weight, your spare weight is out of the way. Safety first. And then we're going to come into our nice full position, so our 3/4 plank position, or full press-up position. So hands are going to be nice and high. That is your 3/4 plank position. So we're going to take it all the way down, keep everything nice and engaged, and up. If you want to do a full press-up, we're going to take it all the way down, all the way up. So we've done a lot of chest already, so again we want to make sure everything stays strong and connected. Make sure your hands aren't slipping and don't slide. We're going to take it all the way down and up and down and up. So keeping that width across that body, keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. Keeping those tongue muscles nice and engaged, keeping those glutes nice and engaged. And 2 more. Brilliant. So we're going to do a quick sink it back. Nice big stretch. And then we're going to flip it over onto our backs. Again, reset our nice neutral position for me. So again, knees are in line with hips, pubic bone to down, that's nice and level. And then we're going to take that weight above the head. And then we're going to curl it up. Reaching forwards. Keep everything nice and engaged. And roll it back through and down. So first of all, remember to keep that shoulders connected. Draw down through your lats. Engage, flex through, and reach up. So again, keeping those toe muscles in nice and tight. And rolling it back down. So here, gap between the chin and the chest. Again, just working through a pain-free range of motion. Again, just working within your body's parameters. If you're starting to tire, then just have a little rest. And we've got one more repetition. Brilliant. So I'm going to put that weight down. We're going to go back to our 3/4 chest press ups. So again, if you want to do full ones, by all means you can do. So we're going to take that weight so it's nice and equal between the right hand, left hand. We keep that width across that body. We're going to take it down and up. So we keep that chest nice and open. Keeping that space between the ears and the shoulders. Keeping those glutes nice and active. And keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. One more repetition. Brilliant. Then put those knees a little bit closer. Sink it back. Get that nice big stretch. Lovely. So we're going to come up onto our bottoms. And that is the end of your workout for today. We're just doing a couple of stretches for those chest muscles. So we're going to bring those arms behind the back of the body. We're going to draw the shoulders back. We're going to reach the arms up. We're going to look up to the ceiling and get that nice big stretch. And just bring the arms back down. Again, I'm just going to do it from the side so you can see. So take those nice big shoulders open, reach the arms up, look up to the ceiling before we get that stretch into the chest. Fantastic. So facing back to the front. Again, we take a little stretch into those shoulders. They've worked quite hard today. So take the arms across the body, get that stretch through the shoulder, keeping that shoulder drawing down. Keeping that width across that body. And then the other side for me. Again, keeping that space between the rib and the hip. And get that stretch into those triceps. Hand coming down to touch the back of the collar. And then the other side. Brilliant. And that's the end of your chest routine and your ab workout for today. I hope you enjoyed today's sessions and we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Take care.